What up, everybody? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm doing a weekly forecast for you guys for the week of January 3rd of 2021 until January 10th of 2021. So I hope you guys have had a safe and happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and welcome to the new year, to 2021. If you guys want to know what this year is going to be like for you, make sure you go to the horoscopes page on my website, and I'll leave the links below and in the video. So you can know based on your sign. The rising sign is the most accurate, but your sun sign will be accurate too. How this year is going to go for you. Okay, you may want to check out your moon sign too if you want to know how the year is going to go, like for your personal life, your family life, and all of that stuff. So these are $15.99, and it is up to 2 hours worth of information. I do focus in specifically on love and in on money at the very end. So if you guys want to check these out, definitely copy one. They're up to 2 hours, y'all, of plenty of info. It's almost like a personal reading, like a personal horoscope. And I do have January horoscopes available too on my website. So if you want to order one of those for your sign, all the aspects that I cover in the monthly and in the weeklies are in these these horoscopes for your sign for January. This month has Mercury retrograde. We have a big old Aquarius party happening in the sky too. So if you want to know how all that's going to affect you by sign, definitely get you one of these. All right. So what is going on this week? Well, we do start the week with the moon in Virgo. And oh wait, I forgot to tell you guys, I am also still taking some personal readings. So just go to my website, rates of services page on my website. And then there you guys can order a personal reading. I am taking just a few more clients right now. And then I'm going to close my queue for a little while, and then, I'll let you guys know when I open up again later. But yeah, if you want to know how this year is going to go for you on a personal level, definitely get a solar return chart done, because that's based on your exact birth date and birth time. If you want to get a career reading or a love and romance reading, I do provide horoscopes with love and money, as well as, your natal chart placements and stuff too on those. Okay, so just go to the services page, and everything that I am currently offering will be there. Okay. All right, you guys, thought I mentioned that too. All right, so yes, we do start this week with a moon in Virgo. Moon will be in Virgo for a couple of days up until the 4th or the 5th, depending upon where you live, what your time zone is. Moon and Virgo days are good for just getting your life together, and it's like a lot of us have to be back to business after a lot of people had like time off and they were partying or whatever, celebrating holidays and stuff. So Moon in Virgo is like the perfect moon phase to be in to get back to work on a Monday, right? So here, let me switch to the 4th, to Monday. Okay, so we'll have the moon in Virgo, and we'll also have the sun in Capricorn, Mercury in Capricorn. So we have a lot of energy still in Capricorn, and then the moon in Virgo, another earth sign. It's about work, so yeah, at least the moon is in Virgo and not in like a hazy, lazy sign when we go back to work on January 4th for a lot of us. So that way you can just be more focused, getting things done that are necessary to get done. Also on the 4th, we have Mercury conjoined to Pluto exactly on this day. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, Mercury is the way that we talk, the way we think. It's communication. It is our logical mind. And then Pluto is very deep, dark things a lot of times. Pluto is a planet that rules the sign of Scorpio, and it rules research and investigation, secrets, things that are taboo, things like traumatic experiences, all of that. Pluto can be associated with like your deepest, darkest fears as well. Okay, and desires and all of that. So Mercury conjoined to Pluto can have a lot of people thinking about all of that stuff and speaking about all of those things too. You may notice, people post things on social media that have to do with trauma, maybe sexuality, including the dark side of it. Maybe people are just a little more bold and risque with their photos too. Some people can become a little more obsessive in nature in their minds. It could be hard to get rid of repetitive thoughts. Some people may have nightmares too, just to be quite honest with you, with Mercury conjoined to Pluto. Some people's way of talking and speech may be a little more sharpshooting, not really giving and just telling it like it is. Because Pluto is about being raw, okay? The raw truth. Like I said, secrets and stuff. Some people might be watching shows that have to do with darker topics, like murder, mystery, crimes, shows like The First 48 and the court dramas and all of that stuff. Shows that are about, risque things, So, try to avoid having too much of an obsessive nature with Mercury conjoined to Pluto. But what this energy can be good for, like I said, research and investigation. Like if you really need to find out something, some people may have secrets be revealed to them on this day, or around this day, because this is the day that the aspect is exact, but it's still going to be lingering in the days following. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Mercury conjoined to Pluto. It's major stuff. You can have some people can have a lot of dark thoughts and maybe dark and doubtful thoughts too, because the energy of Capricorn can cause a lot of fear and doubt in itself as well. Okay. And the ruling planet of Capricorn is Saturn. And as Mercury leaves its exact conjunction with Pluto this week, it'll still be lingering around Pluto and then conjoining to Saturn. It'll be caught between those two planets, and both of them can cause a lot of dark thoughts. So just be aware of that. If you are prone to stuff like that already, and they really get you down in the dumps and really make you stuck in your head a lot with a lot of fears and stuff, do whatever you got to do that is therapeutic for you to get those thoughts out. Journal them, talk to people, anything that you find like therapeutic, prayer, anything, just get it out. Don't let it fester. Don't let it linger. Don't let it get worse. Okay. All right. So, that's a very, that transit ain't no joke. All right. So, also we do have Mercury. Mercury's also squaring Mars. Mars is still in Aries for, the first part of the week, right? And Mercury conjoined to Pluto and square Mars. This can be like potentially explosive and violent, conversations and stuff with people. That's already been popping. I can like attest to that. Okay. People can be because Mars is anger. So if anybody has had like any pent up anger and aggression, they may be speaking about things, like speaking in those ways, like getting all of that stuff out. Pluto will help you dig it out, and so will Mars. All right. So just be aware of that. And my neighbors tend to scream and yell at each other a lot, and these walls are thin, so they might hear me while I'm saying this. They tend to scream and yell all the time and argue. Oh my God, as I'm saying it, they start. I'm not even bullshitting. I can't with these people. So yeah, they tend to scream and yell and argue a lot. And okay, so you guys know what I'm talking about. All right. So you may have some days where you feel like your head is going to fucking explode. Okay. In anger. So just be aware of this energy. It's very tense and intense. All right. So just harness it and direct it into a safe place if you can, if you will. Okay. So, we also have Venus. Venus is making, a trine aspect to Mars this week too, but they're in fire. So a lot of people can have, be very passionate this week, much more passionate, much more romantic, maybe just like fiercely going after who and what they want. Okay. So that can be going on. All right. So we do have, on the 4th, this is when the moon goes into Libra. Where's she at? So the moon goes into Libra. Is it the 4th or is it more? Yeah, it's late at night on the 4th. Or if you're, further east in the world or whatever, excuse me, it can be considered the 5th. The moon goes into Libra for a few days. And this is an energy that can help with if people are just not really getting along with each other. You know, it can help like smooth out disagreements. Moon and Libra days, people feel more you know, like attracted to relationships and themes of relationships. If they're like reading or looking at anything, you're very much more like relationship oriented in nature, and you may feel like being booed up, you know, with somebody. And if you're not, you may feel upset about it during Moon and Libra days. Like, I don't want to be alone. Oh my God. Yeah, totally Libra mood right there. You may be more concerned about your looks, fashion, and all of that stuff too. Anything to do with beauty, art, design, all of that. Okay, so that's the moon in Libra. And then on the 6th, we have Mars moving into Taurus. Okay, so let's talk about this. All right, so Mars in Taurus. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, so Mars goes into Taurus on January 6th and stays there until March 3rd. So for 2 months, almost exactly 2 months. As Mars is approaching Uranus or Taurus, it is still approaching Uranus. Okay, even in the last few degrees of Aries, right? And as Mars gets into Taurus, it's approaching Uranus too. Now, normally Mars in Taurus is very chill. It's like the bull, you know, the energy of the bull, which is very slow to anger, very peace loving, very just like, yo, let me just chill over here and like grub and enjoy myself and relax and just be left alone, you know, not bothered. Okay. And then if you really provoke the bull enough, then finally they're gonna like be like, you know what, and then those horns are really gonna show themselves, and it's gonna be hard for the bull to stop once they're angry. But it takes a minute to get there with Taurus energy. However, we do have Mars and Uranus in a conjunction this month. It's inching towards it, and then it's going to be exact on the 20th. Okay. So let me just tell you about this energy here, whether it's in Taurus or not. Mars and Uranus together, they are very explosive. Mars does rule fire and weapons and anger and destruction of things when angry. You know what I'm saying? Mars rules all of that. And then Uranus, it rules electricity and lightning and things that just explode and surprise you out of nowhere. So these two together, I personally don't like them together. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. They can make people hella animated and stuff, which can be cool and funny and everything and fun. It can make you a little more like goofy and silly and everything, which is dope. But these two together can cause a lot of nervous energy. Just imagine electricity hitting you, static electricity, like zapping you when you're moving, you know, and causing you to react. Like that's kind of how this energy is. And so it can make people more accident prone. Let me tell you, as this aspect is building up already, I have totally been accident prone, and I am a Mars in Taurus natally, you know. So Uranus is hovering close to my Mars. Yes, so the accident proneness is way too real. I'm talking about even the most minor thing, like dropping stuff and things slipping out of your hand, and you know, you're trying to do something, you're trying to open something, and then the motherfucker explodes everywhere, and you're like, what the hell, I was barely even touching it, right? So that type of thing happens a lot with these transits. And also you do want to be very careful driving as this aspect is building up, and especially towards the end of the month when it's exact. And we're going to have Mercury in shadow. You know, I talked about that stuff during the January general video. So if you want to go check that out, that's still here up on my channel too, if you want to see the January monthly. But yeah, this energy is no joke, you guys. So people can feel more nervous and restless and stuff, like for real. Okay, so Mars and Uranus together. Yeah, it's too much energy, you know, it's too much energy. That's like here and there and here and there, and like I picture like jolting energies, excuse me, like yeah, like shocking, jolting, sudden movements with Mars and Uranus. So if you need to take a chill pill, do so. Like I don't advocate for drugs or anything like that, but literally, like if you do anything to make yourself calm down, that's, you know, safe and legal or whatever, you might want to do those things, okay, during this whole entire month. And as soon as Mars steps into Taurus, it's like it increases, you know. I'm trying to think of what good can come out of a Mars and Uranus transit. If you're adventurous and weird and wacky and zany and goofy and kooky and all of those words, you'll be in your element. If you're a performer of any sort, performing arts, comedy especially, or you're a dancer maybe, this is a good transit for you. You'll have like your most unique movements come out. And you know, Uranus is also like really not giving a shit. Like you just do you, unapologetically. And then Mars is movement, so your movements will be very rebellious and unapologetic. So that means that you feel a sense of freedom, more freedom to be yourself through your movements and your actions. Mars and Uranus together can also equate to like people rebelling and protesting and rioting and stuff too. I'm just giving that warning. And with all the Aquarius in the air this month, I covered this in the monthly, so go check it out, okay? So just be aware of your surroundings though, okay? Even if you're like cool and calm and chill, other people around you may be like, way too lit, way too animated, just doing the absolute most, unnecessarily the most, okay? All right, so we do have the moon in Scorpio, and this is on the 7th, the moon goes into Scorpio, and she hangs out there until the 9th. So moon in Scorpio days, we're a little more moody, we have a little more attitude all over the room, okay? A little more attitude in the mix. Moon in Scorpio days, we may want to keep to ourselves, be more private. Our privacy is like number one during these days. We don't like people being nosy or snooping in our shit, you know. We don't like people listening to our conversations. We don't like any of that, Scorpios, okay? So everybody will get a taste of that energy, and just be more private, more secretive, more guarded around this date, or these dates that the moon is in this sign. And, Mercury is still conjoined to Pluto, the ruling planet of Scorpio. So our minds will be very scorpionic. So people could be maybe a little extra suspicious during the 7th through the 9th, especially. A little more suspicious. And yes, research, investigation, the taboo, the darkness of it all. Like all of that stuff is like intensified when the moon hits Scorpio. Because the moon, it rules our thoughts too. It's like our inner thoughts and our emotions and our subconscious mind and everything. And then Mercury is like more what's at the forefront of your mind. So the forefront of your mind is conjoined to Pluto, the ruling planet of Scorpio. And then the back of your mind is in the sign of Scorpio. So go figure. Everybody, doesn't matter if you're born a Scorpio or not, is going to be feeling like one this week. And probably like that song, like I always feel like somebody's watching me, that song from the 80s. Yeah. People are going to be googly eyed, the Google eye emoji, just like looking around like, who are you? What's your motive? Who sent you? Oh, you're being a little too nice. That's suspicious. So everybody's a suspect, y'all, for the rest of the week. Okay, so on the 8th, we have a couple of transits popping. We have Mercury moving into Aquarius on the 8th, and Venus moving into Capricorn as well. So Mercury is going to be in Aquarius until the middle of March. Excuse me. And I did cover this more in the monthly, I believe. So Mercury is going to be retrograde in this sign, and it's going to be in its shadow period, like almost right away. We have 1 week of it not being in shadow. Okay. So from the 8th until around the 15th, it's like mostly normal. Mercury functioning at its normal speed and, in its normal way, meaning like communication, mail, postal mail, email, all of that stuff is pretty normal, right? And then once we get into the shadow period, you need to slow down, you need to pay extra attention. There could be more typos from you or other people, more mistakes made with skipping over details and missing information and all of that, misunderstandings, miscommunication. So you just need to slow down and pay attention, a little more attention when Mercury goes into its shadow period. But this week that I'm covering, Mercury is normal, okay? But it's in Aquarius, and it's creeping up right away on a conjunction with Saturn, a conjunction with Jupiter, and a square to Mars, and a square to Uranus. So this can still be very stern and explosive conversations that are had. And here's the thing. These 3 planets in Aquarius are squaring the ruling planet of Aquarius, which is Uranus. And so Aquarius is about freedom and being a rebel, going against the norm, against the grain, against the system. And, Uranus is about all of that too. So there could really be this week, and also just continuing through the rest of the month, a lot of rebellion and people gathering. This is why I'm like, yo, this month you may need to watch out for more like protests, possibly. Okay, there's the probability is higher. Astrology can pinpoint some things, but a lot of times it's like letting you know the levels, the chances are higher for some things happening. Starting with once Mercury goes into Aquarius, we may see some people wanting to initiate rallies and protests and gatherings and riots and all of that. Just FYI, okay? Because of all this rebellious energy. Like, no, we won't budge. We want this. We demand this. We want justice and all of that Aquarian stuff. So right away, Mercury conjoined to Saturn in Aquarius is really like the people, which is Aquarius, demanding things of the authorities, which is Saturn. And Jupiter can deal with like law and stuff too, because it rules Sagittarius. There's a little bit of element of that within there. And politics is also Sagittarius and Jupiter, philosophy and all of that. So yeah, right away when Mercury goes into Aquarius, you're going to see on social media, especially people posting more stuff with all the acronyms, the social justice warrior speak. You know what I'm saying? All the big words and acronyms and new words that you have to learn in order to classify and label people properly, because they created their own lane and their own label for themselves that's non-traditional. Everything non-traditional. Everybody's going to have to start learning a whole new vocabulary this year. Let me tell you. Yes, I'm still working on my 2021 video. Okay. But and just a little taste of that. Yes, this year, everybody's going to have to learn terms like non-binary and all those acronyms of all these letters that mean a bunch of stuff for specific groups, like abbreviating these long terms for specific groups that want to be identified in a certain way. Everybody's going to have to start learning them. I'm telling you, this is the beginning of the age of Aquarius really starting to kick into high gear. I know there's some debate about that, but hey, I stand where I stand, right? This is what I observe and what I intuitively feel with the energies and what I see. So, Mercury in Aquarius is going to kick it off too, because Mercury is talking, it's communication. It's a transit of a planet that's closer to us on the Earth. Saturn and Jupiter are further away. They are making an impact on us, making waves, but they're a longer transit. So you don't always see things immediately right in front of you, but a planet closer to the Earth coming in contact with them and in this same sign is going to bring more of it out. So just be prepared, you guys. Mercury in Aquarius is people really, one thing to watch out for and to try not to tap into with this energy is talking down upon people, like if they are idiots because they don't know what you know. Because you see how Aquarius is up here at the top of the zodiac, and they do take a very objective point of view, like they do rise above humanity and look at things differently and observe humanity and look down and kind of dissect things and look at things from a very scientific type of perspective about everything in life, right? And question everything. And it's a very intelligent sign, yes, but at the same time, some people with Mercury and Aquarius could be assholes. I'm not gonna lie, like, and just like, oh, you didn't know this already? Why don't you know this? I used to work with a girl who had Moon in Aquarius, and she was a complete asshole like that. I'm very smart, okay, but she really made me feel like I was just the imbecile of the world. Like, I was the village idiot to her in the office, because when I started there, I learned via repetition and hands-on experience. And I'm also a very visual learner too. I have to watch repeatedly and then do repeatedly. And then I'm like, okay, then over time, I master something. I don't just get things right away. But Mercury and Aquarius will expect you to get things right away, know what they know. And if you don't, then you're a fucking idiot. Okay. And if you have Mercury and Aquarius and you said, that's not me, well, then check the house it's in, check the aspects, whatever. And I have other people close to me that have this Mercury or Moon in Aquarius, and they all can act like that. As much as I love them, and they're all very close to me, like family, blood or not, they all have had that attitude. Okay, all of them. They're good people, but they're guilty of that sometimes, because they say Aquarius can have a God complex, and it's true. And like, oh, I knew this, you don't know this, So, I was already ahead of the game with this, or that's why Aquarius is the hipster. Like, oh, I knew about this indie band before the rest of the world did, and all of you guys are barely discovering them. Yeah. So, just be careful with this energy, all this Aquarius energy in the sky, and don't act like that to people. But definitely take time to, instead of, oh, you didn't know this already, think that in your head, right? But then show a person, well, let me show you, this is how this, and this, right? And remember that Aquarius energy is about thinking outside the box, and it's about also recognizing that people are individuals, and not everybody knows what you know because they haven't experienced everything you've experienced. Everybody has a different upbringing. Everybody has a different learning style. Everybody retains information differently. You know what I'm saying? We're all different. But Aquarius energy, it can go either way, because it's ruled by Uranus and ruled by Saturn, both. So some people can go on the Uranian side, which is, okay, everybody's different. Everybody's an individual, and I'm going to treat them as such. And I'm going to recognize their differences and celebrate them. You know what I'm saying? Or it can go on the side of Saturn, which is more like very strict and very like, oh, sometimes Aquarius energy wants to lump everyone together and expect everyone to be on the same page. And if they're not, then there's something wrong with them. So just try to remember that with this energy and with how you're talking to people. Okay, don't make people feel stupid, right? But do recognize like their way of learning things and absorbing information, and try to show them something based on that, not based on you, the superior knower of all the universe. All right, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so we do have but Mercury will go retrograde on January 30th, and we'll talk more about that later. Okay, but we do have Venus in Cap, and she's going to be here until February 1st. So style and money and love switch gears to Capricorn energy. So this is more sophisticated. This is more mature. Okay, so she was a little wild while she was in Sagittarius. She didn't really give a shit about her bank account balance. She didn't care whether or not she spent money, because she was living life in the moment and had freedom, and money comes and goes. It's all about the experience. Yeah, that was her when she was in Sagittarius. And she was probably dressed in a little more boho, a little more like someone who's from the jungles and stuff. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. Don't even social justice warrior people. Just don't. I mean, she was a little more freedom loving and wild. Her clothing was probably a little scarce. You know what I'm saying? She was just wanting to just blow freely in the wind, as naked as she can get away with being under the cold weather. But now she's in Capricorn. She's got her little fur coat on. Okay, she's got some boots on. She's got some designer on. And she's just like more covered up, and she might have her hair a little updo, a little bun with some baby hairs popping, and just some like earrings that are not hoop earrings. They're a little fancier, a little fancier. Those, I can't think of the name right now, but not anything that's long or dangling. They're like those shorter earrings, like that are like not a stud, but I can't think of the name, y'all. Okay, too much third house energy is making my mind all over the place. But you know what I'm saying. Those little fancy schmancy earrings. She's all about that. She's all about the Tiffany jewelry and only the finest. And she knows her worth. She knows her worth. She knows her value, and she doesn't settle for any less. She doesn't like clownery. She doesn't like bullshit. She doesn't joke around. She will ask you what that 5-year plan is, buddy. Venus in Cap is notorious for that. So if you're just like, ooh, court jester bouncing around, she's just going to turn up her nose and turn her head and walk away. Okay. So that's how Venus in Capricorn operates. When it comes to money, we're a little more conservative too. And we're thinking about the long term with our purchases. Whereas Sag energy, oh my God, it was just like, wee, with the debit card, right? Or the credit cards or the cash. But now in Cap, she's Miss Stingy Pants. You know, it's like Mr. Krabs energy off of SpongeBob. Me money. Yeah, that's Capricorn all day. So we're going to have Venus in Cap. And her colors for fashion are like olive green, like military colors, camouflage. She likes the color black also. She just likes more class, you know. She likes to dress in like power suits. She likes to wear blazers, even with like a little lingerie drawers underneath. Like a little lingerie for those who don't get the joke. But she's still gonna be rocking those blazers. Like, if any of you guys remember the singer Vanity back in the 80s, she was with Prince, one of Prince's proteges. And she was I think she was a Capricorn sun in the 9th house. But she was a Scorpio moon. So the Scorpio part of her would be rocking the corsets and the negligees and the lingerie. But over it, she would wear a blazer, which was total Capricorn. So, yeah, that could be kind of, you know, some of the styles people are rocking. Or even if you dress in more casual gear, it has to be more name brand or at least high quality material. Okay. If it's not like a fancy, expensive name, the material has to be good, not something that you can wear for years, because Capricorn energy is about value and worth and the long run. And when it comes to love, yeah, people ain't going to be bullshitting and playing around like they were when Venus was in Sag. It's not about those random wild hookups or anything. It's more like, you know, what can you bring to the table? Can we be a power couple? Can we be the next Jay-Z and Beyonce up in this bitch? Like, that's what Venus and Capricorn energy is about. So she's going to be here until February 1st. We do have the moon moving into Sagittarius on the 9th, and it's going to be there until the 11th. So moon and Sag, it is still party time a little bit. But now she's partying alone because she's the only thing in fire now. Before, she was accompanied by Mars and Aries. Last month, she had Venus in her sign in Sag to party with. Yeah, so now she's all alone, just the moon and Sag, like, woo, with her little her little party hat, by herself. So there's a more serious vibe in the air because of all the other planets being in more serious signs. In Sirius, Capricorn, Earth sign, in Aquarius, which does like to be pretty cool and party and stuff too, but it's conjoined to Saturn and Pluto, right? And then we have Mars now in Sirius, Taurus, an Earth sign. So the moon being in Sag will add a dash of that, you know, freedom loving, fun loving, jokester, prankster energy. Peter Pan, wanting to just fly around and no responsibilities and all that. But we can't really get away with too much of that while these other planets are in these other signs. But she's going to help us to loosen up a little bit, okay, while she's in Sag. And then also on the 9th, we have Mercury in a conjunction with Saturn, like exact on this day. And so, yeah, the vibe is more serious. There is more talks about government and conspiracies and the people and what's fair for the people and injustices and yada, yada, yada. Okay, all the laws and what they can do for us. This month may be a month to where they start being in the talks of or enforcing things to do with cracking down on the internet and apps and stuff and social media with like what you can get away with saying and doing. especially after Mercury goes into Aquarius and approaches Saturn and Jupiter. That's like a little prediction I have of a possibility. It could happen this week, and if it's not this week, it's definitely this month, or at least this year, with all this Aquariusness going on. Okay, it's bound to happen. But because Mercury's here, there could be more talks about it, about like limitations on what you can do to express yourself on like Instagram or TikTok or wherever people are hanging out now besides those apps. Yeah, there could be some restrictive things that are being enforced or at least discussed. So that's going to be interesting and fun, right? For us freedom lovers, that shit's going to suck, man. Anyway, so Mercury in Aquarius conjoined to Saturn in Aquarius. Yeah, so people may be more, you'll notice that people will be more defensive of the underdog or of specific groups that they advocate for or whatever. Watch what you say this week, because if you're somebody who is more, and especially when the moon's in Sag, people will just say things, be blunt and blurt things out. It doesn't matter if people find them offensive or not. But then there's this conjunction here that's going to be like, oh, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to spin a narrative? Blah, blah, blah. I fucking hate that, spin the narrative. Oh my God, that's, my South Node in Aquarius is so allergic. Like, I can't. Spinning a narrative. Oh, it's so cringy. But yeah, are you trying to say that blah, 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 and you want to be in the, oh my God, I'm not even going to start, because I don't want none of y'all who are into that stuff to come after me. But anyway, all those terms and big words and acronyms and stuff, they're going to be flying this week, you guys. Like, seriously. I mean, it's cool because it is necessary in a lot of ways, and it does make some movement in this world for everybody being treated as they should, you know. But at the same time, people can get annoying with it and very forceful, and just filling your timeline with like a bunch of stuff that maybe you are not in the mood for. Maybe you want to be more lighthearted, and it's going to be more heavier. Okay. So yeah, we do have Venus trine Mars though, also on the 9th. So here we have Venus. She's in the early degree. She's at 1 degree Cap, and then Mars is at 1 degree of Taurus. Sorry guys, my voice has been in and out. That's why I'm also like talking more low. But we're wrapping this up. So Venus trine Mars. This is really good energy for money, especially because it's in earth signs, but also for love too. I would say for solidifying things, because it's an earth sign, but then here's Uranus in the mix, which is like the wild card, the fucking Joker energy that's like, woo, gotcha, bitch, surprise, haha. So you thought you had something stable. Well, think again. Bam, here's a lightning bolt to fuck everything up for you. Like, that's Uranus, okay? But Venus trine Mars is really good for romance, love, money, and all of that. But still expect some surprises though, okay? All right, you guys. I'm going to go drink some tea. I really hope this was helpful to you. Sorry, my mood is not like as up as it usually is. I'm a little under the weather, and these transits, yo, I'm affected by them too, okay? They're not doing very great things over here for me. But there's still work to be done. So I hope you guys found this to be helpful. Don't forget to check out your monthly horoscope for your sign, and also your yearly horoscope for your sign. And also, I am taking a few more spots for some personal readings, maybe like 2 more, and then I'm going to be closing my queue for a little bit. So if you would like any type of personal reading, natal chart is really the only one I offer that does not come with any type of horoscope. It's just a reading of your personality, and then everything else zoomed in, focused in on these specific areas, and I give horoscopes, okay? So my website is going to be below and linked in this video, so check it out, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.